And welcome back, dear friends. In the last class of the NIRF, we have seen about how to calculate the first parameter, that is the teaching learning parameter, of which the first matrices which we saw was on student strength, including the PhD students, that what we call it as SS. For the engineering colleges, the weightage of 20 marks was being given, and we saw the form using the formula, some of the examples. So just a small recap with the same, where we have seen that with some examples. Here, the thing what we saw was, let me understand with an example which we discussed previously, that is NT is equals to NE should be there, what we discussed. Now, what was the NT? NT, it was the total intake, and NE was how many were eligible. So there was a function called f, that is NT, NE. So we took an example of NT is equals to 240 and NP is equals to NE is equals to 240 and NP is equals to 10. So when we substituted this into the formula, okay, that in the formula when we substituted it, so that was NT upon NE was equals to 1. Okay. And similarly, NP upon the total intake was equals to 0.0417. So this was one example which I took in my previous video. Then another example which I took for the same NTNE, but using the different intake number, where I took NT was 200 and NE was 250, that was equals to 0.8, and for NP, it was 50 upon 250, that was equals to 0.2. So this was the example which we took in the previous video also. So the capping was there for NT and NE. The capping was not more than 1, and it was almost all, it was been normalized. Then for similarly, for NP, the capping was for 0.2. So while calculating the student strength, that is the SS, the final what we got was this 0.8 was multiplied to 15, because the formula states 1 means whatever the number what we have received, that into 15 it was. So NT and NE what we received here is 1 it is. Okay. Let me type here again. So the formula was SS is equals to F bracket NT comma NE bracket complete multiplied by 15 plus F, then NP multiplied by 5. So when we substitute this above formula, that is NT and NE, in the first one I am speaking now, 1 multiplied by 15, okay, there's a bracket over here, plus what we received for NP was 0.0417 multiplied by 5. That was equals to 15 plus 0.21, Together, it gave a sum of 15.21. Okay. Similarly, for the second example, which we took an example of 200 and 250 intake, the total number what we got was 13 by substituting into the same values. So the overall wattage was also calculated for the same thing and it was being averaged. Now let us understand the same thing with one more new example, which I can give much more little bit clear idea into this. The formula remains the same, that is F is equals to NT upon NE. This is the formula is same. And now we will substitute with some examples over here. A new example I'm going to take that, for example, now this particular thing, okay, I'm going to delete it for a new example. Okay, so now let us consider NT is equals to 100, comma, NE is equals to 75, comma, NP is equals to 10. Okay. So now let us substitute this into the formula. So what we will get, let us see. So now let us identify NT upon NE. NT is again 100 divided by 75. That is equals to 1.33. Now NP is 10 upon NE is 75. Okay, eligible is 75. That is equals to 0.133. So now let us multiply this 1.33, that is NT upon NE, with 15, because the formula says it is multiplied with the 15. That gets an answer of 20. Now further, now NP upon NE, that is 0.133 multiplied by 5. That gives a sum of 0.67. Okay. So now this both together, SS is equals to 20 plus 0.67. Okay. This gives a weightage of 20.67. Finally, this SS is being averaged for 25. So we have almost all received an average of 20.67 marks. Okay. The averaging is formula this one. So the SS what we have received is 20.67 upon 25. That is equals to 0.8268. Okay. So this would be the averaging answer. But when we multiply this sum with 20, we will get 16.54. I mean, out of 20 marks, the number which we are going to score is 16.54. So this is another example for student strength. So now we are going to see in this video about the next topic, that is next metric I mean to say. The second metric of this teaching learning, that is the faculty student ratio, which is emphasizing on the permanent faculty. Okay. So the formula states for that is the FSR stands for FSR, that is the faculty student ratio, which is emphasizing, that is equals to 30 multiplied by 15 further multiplied by F upon N. Sorry, F upon N. This is the formula for faculty-student ratio, which is been emphasizing on the permanent faculty, and it is having a weightage of 30 marks. Now let us understand what is this. Yeah, what does the F stands for and what is the N standing for in this one. Okay. So the F stands for full-time regular faculty members and N stands for, that is NT plus NP. Okay. Already we have seen NT and NP in the previous one. Okay. So now in order to maintain, there are certain tips to get a maximum marks over here. Like we have to have a full-time teachers in the both semester, and the expected ratio to score more marks in this particular criteria would be 1:15, which we can get a maximum marks. And for F upon N, the ratio should not exceed 1:50 because the FSR is set for 0. So F is nothing but the full-time teachers faculty in that particular institutions in the previous year, and the regular appointment means, as per the definition of this one, NIRF, full basis, that is the faculty on contract basis and ad hoc basis also will be considered if and only that faculty is been teaching or has taught for the both the semesters in the previous academic year. And faculty members with the PhD or the PG will also be considered here, but no faculty would be considered for only bachelor degrees. So score the, as I already told, to score the maximum marks, we have to maintain a ratio of 1:15, because lesser than the 1:50, the FSR is set to be 0. So in the given prescribed format, we need to provide this particular data to the portal. Now, let us see the third matrix. The third matrix is the combined matrix for faculty with PhD and the experience, that is what we call it as FQE. That carries a weightage of 20 marks. So here FEQ is equals to FQ plus FE. FQE is the faculty with PhD, that is FRA, and if you see the formula, that is FQ is equals to 10 multiplied by FRA upon 95. Okay. Or one more formula you can see is lesser than or greater than or equal to 95 also would be some of the matrices you will find it. So now let us understand what is this FQE, that is the combined matrix of the faculty with a PhD. So as we know, this FQE, okay, this is the faculty with a PhD, that is the FRA. So FRA is the percentage of the faculty with PhD in that particular institute. Okay. If any institute is having the more than 95%, okay, more than 95% of the PhD faculty, that can be substituted here, that is the FRA. And now let us take an example here. If this FQ I am taking with an example 10 multiplied by, okay, our 85 members are PhD holders out of 95, then almost all you will be getting a number of lesser than 10. So FQ would be less than 10. So in order to get the maximum marks, we have to have more number of PhD. I mean, at least 95% of the faculty members must be PhD to get the maximum mark. So even though we are having 95% of the PhD members in our institute, but it depends upon the experience also. The second part would be basically on the experience. So this experience has been divided into three categories. Now this 95%, though it is 95%, we have to see the experience also. So this experience is being categorized into three fractions, that is F1, F2 and F3. Where F2, F1 in the fraction 1, because this 95 all must not be seniors, all must not be juniors. So there should be an equal distribution. So F1, that is up to 8 years. Okay. Then F2 is for 8 to 15 years. And F3 should be more than 15 years. So this is the categorization which is being done. To get more number of marks, there should be the maintenance of 1:1:1 ratio in all the three categories. So then we can get a full number of marks in this category. Hope so I am clear with this. So this is the third matrices, that is the combined matrix for the faculty with the PhD and their experience, that is the FQE. So FQE totally, the FQE is calculated by FQ plus FE. And the FQ is nothing but it is 10 into FRA upon 95, where FRA should be more than, not less than 95%. And in FQ, FRA is nothing but it is the total number of the PhD candidates or equivalent to PhD people. So more number of PhD people are being required, and these PhD people are also been divided in three fractions. And in order to get a full marks in this one, we need to maintain minimum 1:1:1 ratio. Then we would get a full three number of out of out marks in this particular matrices. So the last sub-matrices in the students' strength would be the financial resources and their utilization. So in the financial resources and utilization, that is FRU is equals to 30 marks is the weightage. 30 marks would be the weightage for this. And the formula is FRU is equals to 7.5 into F, then BC, we'll discuss this, plus 22.5 multiplied by F into BO. So, okay. So this is the formula for the financial resources and their utilization. The BC, what does the BC stands for? BC is the average annual capital expenditure per students for the previous 3 years. It must exclude construction of new buildings. So in this BC, we are only taking what is the annual capital expenditure per students we have done in the past 3 years. Okay. And the BO. Okay. The BO is the average annual operational, or you may say recurring expenditure per students for the past 3 years. In this one, we have to exclude maintenance of hostels and other allied services also. In the formula, if you see, the BC is multiplied by 7.5 and BO is multiplied by 22.5. Okay. So there is much on the BO as compared to BC. So to get more marks, the expenditure on the student should be on the higher side. That is, the BO should be on the higher side. Then only we can have a good number of score in this particular criteria. So how much expenses and how expenses can be also done? Like, for example, expenses on the workshop, what are the seed money we have given, what is the salary of the faculty, on the conferences, on the infrastructure, on the green environment, what is the support for the physical handicapped people, on the women, and what are the how we are utilizing in that, like modern classrooms are there. So these are some of the criteria where we can include this. So here it completes all the 4 matrices of parameter 1 of the teaching, learning, and resources. That is the weightage of 100 marks, which was been divided into different parameters. So in the upcoming video, we would be also seeing on the second parameter, we will be seeing on research and professional practice. Thanks for listening. So kindly subscribe, give comment, and also share the video. Thank you.